Look, early redemption clauses are the silent killers in investor deals. They don't wait for you to catch your breath. They snap, and suddenly you're drowning in a storm of forced buybacks, unexpected payouts, and shattered growth plans. And why? Because somewhere along the line, either you or your investors blew up a red flag without really noticing it. The mess? It's maddening. You've built something, you've raised capital, you've sold a future, then bam. The deal unravels and you're left scrambling, heart pounding, asking, how did this even happen? The brutal truth is, early redemption clauses trigger because somewhere trust breaks down. It's not just about numbers or timelines. It hits when someone smells a threat. Maybe your startup misses key milestones. Maybe you get desperate for cash and take a questionable deal. Maybe the market shifts hard and investors freak out. And yes, sometimes it's as stupid as a communication breakdown that feels small but is actually catastrophic. The early redemption clause isn't just a line in the contract. It's the nuclear doom button investors and founders both fear but rarely understand enough to avoid. Here's what no one tells you. Most founders don't see this coming because they treat these clauses like legal fine print rather than ticking time bombs. You don't want to be that founder. You need to get ahead of it, take control, and stop this thing from burning your whole vision down. So first, understand the triggers with brutal clarity. Falling behind on agreed KPIs? That's a red flag lit. Taking shortcuts on governance or transparency? Another. Not keeping your investors looped in on serious trouble? That's the fastest way to lose their faith and their patience. Now listen close. There's a simple but deadly mistake a lot of founders make. They hide problems, thinking they'll fix them before anyone notices. That never works. The second you feel the urge to bury bad news, punch that instinct in the face. Get ahead of the conversation. Own your failures. Be raw but smart about it. Investors respect honesty more than you think. No one thrives in the dark, and no one wants to pull the early redemption trigger unless they absolutely have to. You want to avoid triggering that clause? Make your investors your allies, not your catchers of bad news. Next, pressure breeds panic. If you're hemorrhaging cash or the market shifts harder than expected, you cannot just swim through it blindfolded. Crunch your numbers ruthlessly every single day. Plan multiple moves ahead. And if things go sideways, activate your defense early. That might mean restructuring debt, bringing in fresh partners, or even temporarily slowing down growth to survive. It's not glamorous, but it's necessary. The smart founder uses these moments to build trust, even if it means admitting you're not the hero in the room right now. Investors hate surprises but love grit. Show grit, owning your mess with an action plan, and you push back against the early redemption clause like a shield. Then there's the other beast, investors themselves. Some aren't just silent partners. They're sharks waiting for an exit trigger to cash in or cut losses. Don't just sign these terms blindly. Fight tooth and nail on what triggers redemption. Push for grace periods. Step in rights that protect your runway, and clauses that require a warning window before they act. Negotiate these like your company's life depends on it, because it does. If an early redemption clause feels like a guillotine held above your neck, you're already behind. Here's the brutal ask. Stop pretending all investors are angels and contracts are just paperwork. Know the power plays inside every deal. Understand that these clauses aren't there just to protect investors' money. They're there to force founders who screw up to pay a heavy price or get out. You want to survive and thrive? Study your deal like you're preparing for war. Know every trigger, every loophole. Then build trust, communicate relentlessly, and execute flawlessly. If you do this, you don't just avoid the nightmare of early redemption. You turn those same investors into your strongest allies, backing you through every storm instead of stabbing you at the first sign of trouble. This isn't about luck. It's about facing reality, owning your story, and negotiating every detail with absolute intensity. You want to keep control? Start acting like your business, and your freedom depends on it, because it does. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check the featured link to learn more.